we're ready to tackle that door. This door is located on the rear of the home, and it's a garage door, and I'm going to bring it back to its former glory. As far as functionality, the door's in pretty good shape. The hardware works, the seal is intact, everything's square. We've got some light rust over here, and some pitting here. There's a hole rusted through. Then we got these holes here. Just above this window frame, there's a gap right there. I'm not sure how that happened. The hinge screws are tight to the frame. So overall, I feel it's worth fixing back up. On the last video, I did the door trim down there. Now, since I'll be removing the glass and trim, I think it'd be a lot easier to work on if I pop those hinges. Now we want to get a block of wood under the door to take the weight off the hinges. And I'm using this as a shim underneath this piece. And just snug it up and get you a big nail or a punch. One of the problems with the bottom hinge is it doesn't give you enough room. The other way is you get a screwdriver right here on the top. You get on that lip and you twist your screwdriver and pry it up. Now I'm going to remove the bottom one first, then the middle one. Got it supported with some sawhorses, and you want the support under the glass area. Now we want to remove these Phillip head screws all the way around the trim. All right. Wasn't even stuck. Now we'll just let the door rock right off there. Huh. Yeah. Look, it's broken. Uh-oh. How do I get out? Now these here are raised up a bit and sharp, so I'll have to beat that down and then smooth it out. Run a putty knife across there, looking for high spots. You'll hear a click if something's high. Okay, we're on the other side here, and we're looking for a click. Hear that? It's just a tad high. So it's going to need some sanding. You can sand it by hand, get an orbital sander. I'm using the Black & Decker mouse. No more click. Oh, got another hole. Got some junk in it. Oh my goodness. Isn't that the way it usually works? To get out all the loose stuff, I'll probably sand it, wash it before painting. It's got a foam core. Make a slot right through there and patch that whole thing all at once. I could even bend that in a little. a line of Bondo. And a small line of hardener. Good. They say the more hardener you put in it, the more brittle it gets. Just mix it up till we get a consistent color. Oh man, that's beautiful. Look at this. Whoa! Put that over here. Now what I just discovered is this stuff sets up really fast. They say you got 3 to 4 minutes working time. I haven't been on this a minute. So maybe I added too much hardener. Now I must admit, this is the first time I've ever used Bondo. I'm familiar with drywall mud, but this sets up so quick. The properties are way different. So I'm just gonna put a dab of hardener. Well, that's too much. And mix this up. Right here, I filled that in with the leftover from the first one. And what I'm going to try to do here is skim coat this to cover all this little rust holes and stuff, because that stuff's going to come right through the paint in no time. So, bear with me on this one. Who knows how this is going to work. I'm going to get me a rag and try to work that stuff in there. Alright. I got a dry rag and a wet rag. Look at that. Not bad, man. All right. Now this one here is the one I beat down, which created an indentation. And that's what you want. So when you spread the Bondo out, it'll have some girth. And what I realized I did wrong on the first batch was I added too much hardener. So I'm going to start with that amount right there. And just a tad of hardener. Yeah. We'll see how that goes. And that gave me a lot more time to work with it. You know, I might need a little bit more, right? You want it to change to a slight pink. There we go. Yeah. So we'll spread this out. All right. Flatten that out nice and flat. That way you don't dig down. I got a little lump there, but I'm going to leave that alone. Sand it, and then if it needs more, I'll give it more. That's pretty smooth. Just has a little bit of rough texture to it. Maybe a light coat, a little bit more sanding. I use a good quality paint from Walmart. It's a step up from your dollar store, Dollar Tree. I got this one last patch to do. For the door paint, I've stepped up my game. Got me some paint from Ace Hardware, and it's made from metal. Exterior. Rust-Oleum, I've never had much luck with, and Zinsser, I haven't had enough experience with. So I got an El Cheapo brush there for the nooks and crannies, and then a smooth cabinet roller, because I like the finish of a roller better than the streaks. Got a bunch of bubbles in it. I don't know if I like that. Well, let's see. Roller finish, brush finish. I know a more expensive brush would look better, but I don't like brush marks at all. But I don't have access to a paint sprayer. And I'm not going to spray bomb the whole door. My God. Good. Apply a bead of silicone. Dab of oil on your hinge pin. Here's a nice contrast. The door I just finished and a door I need to do. So here's the finished product. Get a close-up. I mean, right there is where all those rust holes are. I can't really see anything. And then the bolt holes over here. And that gap that was across the top. That was just a matter of adjusting the trim and window when I reassembled it. So there you go. It's not perfect. Then again, it's not a front door. I'm not looking to make it pop. I'd like to thank everyone for watching. Any questions, comments, leave down below.